I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh. We have got a few announcements here before we get started. So the first thing, I'm not sure if you guys got the email from the company last night about a call today. It's at noon Pacific, 1 Mountain, what is that, 3 Eastern. Definitely hop on. I know it's going to have something to do with updates for this weekend, and I don't know what exactly is going on yet, but what I do know is that most of Texas has no power. And considering that this event is supposed to be recorded live in Houston, Texas, I'm having a feeling we're probably having a change in venue. And I know I was supposed to fly to Houston on Saturday, and I got a notification from the airline yesterday that I need to change my flight. So I'm thinking it's going to be a really important call. So just know, I'll post it in the group, but check your email because you should have gotten an email about it too. So I just want to definitely mention that first. And I guess here we go. Most everybody is all popping in now. So Jesse actually is out of town. And so you've got Ruth and I today to do this training. Typically you guys have Jesse on Wednesdays, and now you guys have us. So we're excited because we're going to go back to some basics today with you guys. We really want to really just make sure people have an understanding of certain things. Because this is a lot, we've been getting a lot of questions from some of the newer people, some people who are not in our organization. And we know that this call really has a good blend of a lot of people and a lot of organizations. So we wanted to go back to some of the basics of, getting a new agent started. So that's where we are today. Ruth, do you have anything you want to add before we kick it off here?
The other thing I'll add is that simplicity is speed, right? And the simpler we keep things, the faster your business is going to grow and duplicate. So having these getting started steps that you do over and over and over again will teach your organization how to do them over and over and over again. And that's what duplicates. So simplicity is key. And that's what we're going to really focus on today, keeping things simple.
Yeah. So for those of you who are in our organization, you know that we do what we call a game plan or a strategy call with every single new agent who comes in to our team, where we sit down and really do some one-on-one stuff. And some of the stuff is not in our training portal by design, because we really want to be able to meet with new agents, right? So one of the very first things that we do when a new agent comes in is we make sure we set up, and you'll get this, I'm assuming that some of this is going to be covered this weekend, but what we call basically a second appointment. And at the second appointment, what you're really doing is you're getting that person started. You're, first of all, sitting down and sharing with them, the roadmap of Seacret. And the roadmap is basically our rank structure. So I have a quick little document that I have that shows this, and it's not the best. It wasn't, just want to show you guys this, just know that it's not the prettiest document, but it doesn't need to be, right? Because the part of this is, getting new agents to kind of figure out where they are and where they're getting ready to go to, right? So let me go ahead and share this. And I know we've had a couple of updates to our comp plan, so I just took a couple of things off quickly. But the very first thing when we get started with a new agent is we want to share with them, this is our Seacret 5-year plan, right? This is, when you're getting started as an agent, the date here is your start date. So today is February 17th. February 17th would be that start date. But our goal for them is to finish within 5 years, which also equates to 60 months, right? So I actually have people write down all of these ranks, right? I have them write it down on a piece of paper. And it's funny because Ruth pulled hers out a couple months ago and was comparing it to when she first got started here at Seacret. And I'll have her share that in a minute because it was actually pretty interesting. But in 60 months, so 5 years, right, we want to get you to the finish line of Crown Royale. That is our goal for you. So I have them, write down all of these ranks. And at Crown Royale, we write finish and we put the date, and then we put 60 months also, right? And so obviously that date would be February 17th of 2026. That's 5 years from today. And then I also have them write 60 months. All right. So when you think about this, think about when you're going to college, you've got a 4-year plan. But I also like to think of it as, the 60 months. A lot of times when people buy new cars, they take a loan for 5 years, 60 months, right? So it's that steady every single month doing those actions. Well, in that example, it's making that payment every month. Here, you're going to have different actions, but it's something that you plan on that 60th month that you're going to have accomplished that goal of being done, right? And that's what we want to share here. So 60 months, right? And then what we say is, okay, well, let's work backwards now. Let's work backwards to these other ranks and where we are at today. And so we start by halving it, right? So half of 60 is 30, right? So 30 months. In 30 months, we would want to get you to red diamond, okay? And so then we count it out to them. So, 30 months, all right, so that's 2 years from today, right? That's 24 months. And then we would say, okay, March, April, May, June, July, August, right? So add this extra 6 months, that's 30 months. So August 17th of, let's see here, 30 months out is 2 years away. So that is 2023, right? So August 17th of 2023 would be our goal for red diamond, okay? And hopefully this is making sense to everybody so far. From there, what we do is we halve that, all right? And half of 30 is 15. And in 15 months, we want to get you to the rank of diamond, okay? Now, here's the thing, guys. Can these ranks be achieved faster? Yes. Can these ranks be achieved slower? Yes. But if you follow the game plan that we're going to give and teach, this should be the timeline that you're able to follow, okay? So 15 months would be diamond, while 12 months is February 17th of next year, right? And then we've got March, April, May to get to 15 months. So May 17th of 2022 would be your goal for diamond, okay? Then half of 15 is 7.5, but we're going to round up to 8. And when I sit with somebody, I actually ask them, is that okay, right? It is 7.5, but can we round up to 8? Because you want to be getting minor agreements along with this when you're talking to your new agent, right? So if we round up to 8 months from today, 8 months from today would be obviously October, but you can count it out. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 8 months, okay? So October 17th of 2021 would be your goal for platinum from today. And then half of 8 is 4, right? And 4 months from today, we've got March, April, May, June, right? And that would be silver. So we want to get people to silver within that first 4 months. Okay, so again, let's see, March, April, May, June. So June 17th of 2021. And then half of that is 2, which would typically be Royale. But right now, we are really trying to help get everybody there within their first 30 days, which is doable. But for the sake of this, we will go ahead and put it down 2 months at Royale. So obviously March, April, so April 17th of 2021. And then obviously we want to get to bronze in that first 30 days, which would be 1 month from today. So March 17th of 2021. So the reason for doing that is to really help people understand where they're starting and where they're going, giving them a finish line. Because so many times when people get started in network marketing and they sign up, they don't have that finish line, right? They just sign up and then they're just spinning around doing the activity, not knowing what they're doing, not seeing any results, not seeing that they're moving along. They might see, oh gosh, I've rank advanced a couple of times, but now I'm kind of at a standstill. And so what this does is it gives them a game plan. It gives them something to be working towards, but it also allows them to, in their head, to be figuring, out this plan. And yes, Carla, I wouldn't, hang on, let me pull the chats here. I wouldn't run a marathon with no finish line, right? And that's the thing, guys. And we talk about it a lot, that you can't finish a race that you haven't started, right? When we do our presentation, that's one of the things, getting people to get started, because it's that action, it's that activity. And I know Ruth and I've done a lot of trainings where we'll compare our races in the training plan and our races to this business, because they are really similar. Like there's so many similarities. And in fact, a lot of times I like to be signed up for a race while I'm doing this, because I'm really scheduled, right? When I'm really scheduled, I'm really productive and I hit those milestones. And so same thing with a race, like, or when you're training and you have that training plan, you're not going to skip a day, right? Because it's going to take these trainings to get me to that finish line. And it's the same exact thing here in this business. So doing those daily methods of operation, hitting those numbers each week, each month, month after month after month, and being consistent is what's going to get you across that finish line here as well. It's really the same exact thing. Ruth, you want to add, or I know you do.
The other thing I want to add to it, guys, is the other really cool thing about doing this exercise that Trish just described to you with a new agent is it allows your new agent to borrow belief from Trish in this case, right? So I'm going to give you an example. When I launched my Seacret business in April of 2020 last year, Trish walked me through the same exercise. I mean, Seacret was new to me. I knew nothing, right? I knew very, very little other than I knew it was a great company. I got to meet with Muzaffar, and I obviously trusted Trish, right? But when she went through that exercise, I remember writing down the dates, and I wish I had the paper right here. I would show it. I showed it on a team call not too long ago. I just don't have my hands on it. But I wrote down those dates, right? And then I stepped back and looked at it and I went, how am I ever going to do this? Because I'm starting at zero. And my first stopping point on this journey was to get to Royale. Trish was like, okay, you got to get to Royale. And we had written down the dates. And I was thinking, how on earth am I going to go from 0 to 5,000 QV on each side in that little time? Like if I was left to my own devices, I would have said, oh, that's really hard. I probably can't do it. But I was able to borrow her belief, right? By her saying, you can achieve this, write it down, put it on paper. I borrowed her belief. And that's really huge in our business, because when you have someone new, they're looking at this stuff going, man, how am I going to do that? Oh, the person I trust believes in me. Okay, I'm confident. I'm confident that I can write this down and commit. And funny story, when you do write things down and commit, they can actually happen faster than you think. So, I pulled out my sheet when I went Ruby back at the beginning of December, and I was way ahead of schedule. But if I didn't have those targets, I would have never seen the progression, right? We just it's like swimming in open water. If you don't see those little buoys out there that you're targeting for, you never know if you're getting closer or not to your destination, because it's just this big sea out there. So yeah, it's a really powerful exercise for getting your new agents started.
Yeah, and I love that, Ruth, because I just want to share with you guys, when Ruth pulled that out at the beginning of December, when she hit Ruby, she goes, oh my gosh, Ruby was supposed to be in February. Like, we're ahead. And I said, yeah. And the other thing too, guys, is don't ever push your pain forward on your new recruit, right? Maybe you haven't hit in the timeline that was given. It's okay. right? But don't push your pain forward. But what I can share with you, and I remember sharing this with Ruth when she got started as well, is I said, listen, when we got started, like our goal was Royale in 30 days as well. And when we met with Jesse, he said, guys, these are the activities I want you to do, which we're going to go over in just a second, which you guys know because are already part of our daily method of operation. But he said, your goal is to get to Royale in your first 30 days. He said, and you can do it. And what ended up happening, we didn't question it, right? And that's the thing. We borrowed Jesse's belief because Jesse said we could do it. So we said, okay, well, then let's get to Royale in our 30 days. Well, guess what? We got there in our first week, right? So like it can be done. You can blow through these numbers. And I know within the first month, I had hit silver. We had 2 other agents who hit gold, who we came in with. So it can be done. And then in our first 4 months, we had our first platinum, right? Well, on there, platinum is 8 months, right? And so just know that when you can borrow that belief and you can really go, like, it's just a timeline to help you get started, but you can always go faster if you're doing the work, right? And if you're not doing the work, then you can go slower, but doing the work for sure will help you go faster. But borrow that belief. And if you yourself aren't there yet, it's okay, but don't push that pain forward. Believe that it can happen because it has happened over and over and over within the organization, right? So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. That makes sense? Does anybody have any questions yet on anything? No? So the other thing I want to cover just real quickly, I'm pretty sure all of you know this, but just in case, and when you're talking to that new agent, it's always really important to talk to them about being active, getting started with their package. And, one of the things that I like to say is, listen, our goal is to get you to Royale in your first 30 days, right? Do you want to get started as close to the finish line as possible or as far from the finish line as possible? How fast do you want to move in this business, right? Do you want to be somebody who, hits bronze in their first week, their first day? Or do you want it to take you 30 days? Like, how do you want to get there? And that's going to allow you to choose, help choose those packages. Now, when we came in, Jesse sat down and did a game plan with us. And I know you guys have seen it. And if you watch his video, Road to Royale, it explains it for you. And actually, here's the interesting thing. The comp plan is better today than it was when I got started. When I got started, first of all, a professional set was only worth 1,000 QV, not 2,000. And our own sets did not count towards our volume for rank advancement, right? It didn't count for us. We could not use personal orders to rank advance. Today you can, right? Today, when you get started with your professional set and then you help 2 people, you're already over halfway to Royale, right? And you can get to bronze like that. We didn't have that. So our professional sets had half the volume and our own sets didn't even count for us. And we still were able to get there. So it just shows you the power that if you just believe in it and you go out and you talk to people and really share that excitement and getting them into the business, how it can boost you forward. So just again, borrow that belief. And like I said, don't question it, right? Borrow the belief and just, if we tell you it can be done, believe it can be done. And don't question it, just go do the activity. Because like Ruth, I remember thinking 5,000, okay, well, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm just going to go do what Jesse told me to do. And that's all I did. And then we were able to hit it. So I just really want to share that with you guys. And does anybody have any questions in that before we kind of dive into the next topic of getting started? No?
Okay. So say we haven't done this process with people. So we should just like get with them and do it now, right?
So really what you should be doing, okay, is anybody you've brought into your organization should have been on a call with, in your case, Ruth or I, for this. Now, here's the reason for that. The other thing, that Ms. Offer taught is we are going to be there to help you guys at least 4 generations down, right? For 4 generations down, we're going to be there to help you bring people in. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do things on your own, but some of you might not be ready to do things. So allow us to help you in that case. Allow us to kick off and sit down and help you do this. Now, if you're 100% confident in doing it yourself, then yes, sit down and do this with them. But if you're not quite there yet, bring in your upline of who is confident to do it, right? So you've got Lisa. I would start with Lisa. If Lisa's not 100% yet, then reach out to Ruth or I, and we'll do that for you, okay? But we want to make sure that everybody understands this process. Now, you've got a strong leader, Genevieve, and you're a strong leader. You might feel confident, but if you're not there yet, know that you've got us until we get you a good 4 generations down. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to drop you, but that means that by that time, you 100% should be ready if you're not yet. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Okay, perfect.
I actually need to do it for myself, like the timeline. I've not done a good job of doing that for me. So I need to do it for me, and then I do it for,
Yeah.
do that. I need to do that this week.
Yes.
So then, because how can I get somebody else to do it if I didn't do it first?
Yep. And that's exactly right. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. All right. So Ruth, you want to dive into the next section?
Yeah, for sure. We have so much to share today, and we only have 5 minutes left. So what I want to talk about is another step in getting someone started the right way. And that's subscribe, save, and win. Okay. And subscribe, save, and win, guys, is a mindset. It's a mindset. And when I joined Seacret, so just so you all know, I joined Seacret 8 months before I launched my business. And it was intentional. And, when I enrolled with Trish, I told her upfront, I am not going to build yet until I have a system that online, because I'm an online marketer, that I can plug people into. And we spent 8 months building that system, finally said, okay, we're ready. And we launched it in April. Those 8 months, every month I was on subscribe, save, and win. Okay. And you may ask why? Well, there were a number of reasons why. Number one, I view subscribe, save, and win as keeping my business open. I used to be an entrepreneur, a gym owner. I had to pay rent. I had to pay electricity. I had to keep the doors open. I had to pay staff. And in network marketing, that's how we keep our business open. I didn't want to go a month and lose volume. Losing volume is losing money. So even though I wasn't active, I didn't have any customers, I was not actively building the business, I still stayed on subscribe, save, and win because it's a mindset. So I say this to you because as you are starting your new agents, as new agents are coming in on your team, you're going to want to communicate that subscribe, save, and win helps your business, right? It ensures you're not going to lose volume. So you're not going to lose dollars. It ensures that you become a product of the product because we can't sell product. We can't get excited about it unless we're using it ourselves. And I've still got to do my product count, how many I use in a day. I use a lot of stuff, right? So I'm a product of the product. Plus, when you teach your new people that it's part of this business, they will teach their new people. And that's how these businesses, we can generate residual income that way, right? Your income will stabilize when people are on subscribe, save, and win. For me, I use my product credit for samples. And I use my subscribe, save, and win to keep my doors open. So it's a mindset. And a lot of times I hear people's recruiting conversations about, let's say someone has a money objection. Right away, they're at, well, you don't have to do subscribe, save, and win if you get a couple of customers. Well, if you think about that conversation, you're telling your potential new recruit that subscribe, save, and win isn't important, that being a product of the product is not important. And that's not what we should be doing in our business. We should be making sure that people are using our products every single month, right?
and really setting up their businesses for success. So the subscribe, save, and win piece is an important piece of what I call the enrollment conversation. So not do we just enroll people by signing them up with the link. Enrollment is enrollment in their business. It's enrollment in partnering with you. It's enrollment in being open to coaching. It's enrollment in getting out of comfort zones. So that's a really, really important piece of the puzzle when you're growing a network marketing team.
Yeah, and the other thing too, guys, with the subscribe, save, and win is, you know, the company has set it up so that there's certain packages that you can get that you're actually paying less than $100 for and getting over 100 QV, right? So they've got it set up really well. And, you know, I'm a believer that everybody should be using nutrition. Everybody should be using it, right? And if you're, you know, if you're using the nutrition, you're going to need it to be on subscribe, save, and win to guarantee that you never run out, because you will go through it, you know, every 4 weeks. And so, you know, having that set up ahead of time, you know, will ensure that that's going to happen. So, you know, it is a mindset, like Ruth said. And the other thing is that, you know, as you're using these products, you're going to be bringing in new customers, which is going to allow you to earn product credit to be able to get those extra products that you want to use outside of your subscribe, save, and win, right? So, but the other thing is too, is you're able to change it anytime you want to. And so you've got complete control over it, but it's definitely, you know, it's something that's going to help control your business. And for those of you who are on, I think it was the Bronze and Above last night with Mazaffer too, one of the things he talked about with the World Ventures team, one of the reasons they were able to be so successful is because they never turned off what you would call their subscribe, save, and win. Their goal was to get 1,000 people on each leg on it, you know, and to guarantee certain income. So it's really important. And the only thing I want to add on that is, and you'll hear this over and over and over, but everything you do and don't do in your business will duplicate. So if you are not going to be on subscribe, save, and win, guess what? Your team isn't going to think it's important to be on subscribe, save, and win. But if you are and you talk about it, your team's going to realize the importance of it, right? So make sure that you're doing the things that you want duplicating in your business, because it will come back and bite you if you don't. All right. So we are at time. You're right, Ruth. We had big goals to cover a lot of material today, but hopefully this has been really helpful to you guys. And, you know, we will pick up, you know, kind of where we left off on this on our trainings next week for you. But does anybody have any questions or any, you know, Ruth, do you want to add anything before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it. I don't want to dive into anything new. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, please. This is unrelated, but it's related to the training this weekend. I was talking to one of my agents this morning, and she wanted to know, when is the deadline for getting the better price? Is it the 19th? I couldn't find it on the flyer.
It was the 19th. It's Friday, right?
Okay.
And, but I definitely suggest make sure you're on that call today, because I'm not sure what they're going to announce, but I do know that a lot of Texas has no power, and we were supposed to be in Texas. So now here's the thing, Seacret will make it right there. I don't know what exactly they're going to announce, but it may just be a change of venue. But, you know, I think it's Friday. So, you know, have her go ahead and get registered for that.
Could be a change of date. You never know.
It could, but I don't know. I doubt they're going to try and do that. So I don't know. Just be on the call at 1, you know, and we'll find out what's going to be.
Is that 1 Arizona time?
Yes, I'm sorry. 1 Arizona, it's 12 Pacific, 1 Mountain, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. Yeah. Okay. And you should have it in your email. If not, though, I'll post a screenshot of what the email said. And I'm assuming, and check out the agent bulletin board, because I know Shelley posted in there about it too. So, but just I want to make sure everybody's aware of that, and pass it on to your teams if there's anybody who's not on here, but we'll be posting it in the group as well. Okay.
I have one other question. The short thing Mark did last week, or whenever it was he did it, the 15-minute or so thing.
Mhm.
talking about signing up for this.
Yep.
That was on the secret agent bulletin board, right? Or was that something separate? Can we email that to people that are, is that
Uh,
something we can share with people?
it was on, I think, his page. I think it was
His
like
page.
Marcusetta Seminars or something like that.
Okay. Is
So-
that shareable?
I don't know. You'll have to go
Yeah.
there. But I would
Okay.
go and look if but it was a Facebook Live, so it should still be there. And
Okay.
if it's not shareable, you can, tag people in it or something. So,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was great to see you this morning, and let's go out and make it a great day. Bye for now.
Everyone.
Yeah.